Crazytown Elementary School Presidential Debate. I'm Sophia from Ms. Brady's class, and will serve as moderator. Today's debate will be structured in a town hall format, with questions posed by you, the students. Now please join me in welcoming the candidates for your student election, Eddie Grantwood and Caitlin Parker. Welcome to you both. Let's get to it. Each student has given me their name and a little something about themselves. Our first question comes from Brian Kuda, who is afraid of the dark but still feels that zombies are awesome.
If you could describe your fantasy in 2 words, what would those 2 words be?
Before we get started, I'd like to thank the Crazytown Elementary Election Commission, the entire student body, and my opponent for what I found to be a constructive, illuminating conversation. And if I could describe my candidacy in 3 words, I would do so as follows. For too long, our student body has been sided in the fashion of the haves and have-nots. But under my leadership as president, all candidates will have equal opportunity to achieve their dreams.
Before I get started, I'd like to thank the Crazytown Elementary Election Commission, the entire student body, and my opponent for I'm confident will be a constructive, illuminating conversation. Also, unlike my opponent, I would like to thank the Tisbury. So my opponent did not think, presumably because she isn't a true believer. Also, unlike my opponent, I would comply with Brian's 3-word limitation and describe my candidacy as follows. My goals.
Our second question comes from Don Francisco, who this one time saw a PG-13 movie while her parents weren't home.
I love tater tots. What's your stance on tater tots? To reiterate, I love tater tots.
Thank you for that question, Dawn. Over the last decade, school lunches have seen an overall decline in the quantity of tots. Under my leadership as president, I'll bring back the legislation known as a lot of tots, which requires by law that lunch trays have to adhere to my PPP plan. These are difficult times, ladies and gentlemen, but make no mistake, I will win the war on taterism.
Look, I'm not going to beat around the potato bush. Tater tots pull out a 99.4% approval rating. That's a higher approval rating than ice cream trucks. My point is, if you hate tots, you hate America. And I don't hate America, unless it's opposite day. Wait, is it opposite day?
It's not opposite day.
Then I love America. My point is, the more tots, the better. But do we honestly believe we need more cafeteria bureaucracy? Under my lunchbox lovers program, want to bring in a bit of tots? Do it, because that's what freedom looks like. Because folks, it's time we leave behind half-grated pizza, half-thawed green beans, and worst of all, and I hesitate to use the M word, milk. But we the people can decide what we want for lunch, whether it be tater tots, corn dog Lunchables, and most importantly of all, fruit by the foot.
Our next question comes from Brendan Slattery, whose career goals include Batman.
Girls are gross.
Thank you, Brandon. Gender issues are a critical part of this election. And as a fellow boy, I thank you for bringing it up, but for also not being a stupid girl. Girls are illegal, yes, despite what my big brother Jim said. Which is why on day 1 of my administration, I will repeal the student council's short-sighted verdict in awesome girls versus silly boys.
Yet again, my opponent seems to be on the wrong side of history. Awesome Girls versus Silly Boys is our generation's most influential ruling, which is why I throw my full support behind it. And on day 1, I'll make sure that the CDC eradicates every strain of cootie and calls for punitive damages pursuant to the yanking of pigtails.
This is outrageous! Pigtail yanking rights have been in place since the days of our forefathers. You take that away, what's next? Water balloons? You can pry my water balloons when you get them from my cold, wet hands.
We need to move on to the next question.
Sophia, before we do, I'd like to point out that my opponent is a girl, and therefore that the transadditive property of gender totally gross.
And I understand that my opponent's a boy, and in a few years he'll do a total 180 and try to impress me with cheap cologne while I reject him for someone's driver's license and stubble.
We need to move on. Our next question comes from Alicia Black, who drew this picture all by herself.
What is your stance on the growing opinion that Timmy should take a shower?
Thank you, Alicia. I believe this one is a bipartisan one, and I speak for both candidates when I say that Timmy should very much definitely take a shower.
I know we always don't agree on everything, but we can put our heads together and reach across the aisle on this one because, simply put, Timmy smells terrible.
And for our next question, we turn to our Twitter feed. @ChunkyMonkey12 asks, "Go trolls, cold souls, DM me with pics. Hashtag YOLO." Well, that was a waste of time. Our next question comes from Amelia Winston, who recently got mustard on her shirt.
In recent months, there's been some debate as to the veracity of the holiday icon known as Santa Claus. Where do you stand?
Thank you for that question, Amelia. First, let's get a few things straight. Santa is real, irrefutably real. He forms the very bedrock of both our candy-based economy and our belief system. But it's time for some serious reform for all things Kringle. His jolly demeanor notwithstanding, Mr. Claus outsources hundreds of good American jobs overseas to his North Pole sweatshop, which violates the entire compendium of our elven labor laws. And not to mention, his aerial, reindeer-powered transport system is blatantly unsanctioned and PETA uncompliant. And with the growing obesity epidemic, should we ignore his imputed disregard of the food pyramid? With milk and cookies alone, he exceeds the saturated fat level by 5,000%. In summary, Santa is real, yes, but not immune to irregulatory scrutiny. Mr. Claus is not and has never been too big to fail.
A vote for Kaylin is a vote against free toys.
Our next question comes from Larry Hartley, whose favorite candy is all candy.
You live in a difficult world with difficult challenges. That in mind, how many jumbo marshmallows can you fit in your mouth?
Next question comes from Ryan Stevenson, whose Halloween costume was a robot.
Spirit. The reason I ask is... Yes, I do. I've got spirit. How about you?
That's a fine question. If anyone's got school spirit, it would be me. As you all know, our school's mascot is the northern elephant seal, which I display proudly here on my lapel pin. Folks, as I look around the rest of the student body, I see so much northern elephant seal pride. But wait, I'm only now noticing that my opponent does not wear a lapel pin. How fascinating. I suppose school pride isn't for everyone.
Isn't it funny how my opponent must base outward appearance on his lack of inner school spirit? I don't flaunt my school pride on the outside. It's what's in here that matters. And by in here, I'm of course referring to this elephant seal handkerchief, which is noticeably larger than my lapel.
Folks, we all know that school pride isn't about size, but about quantity. Not only do I wear this lapel pin, but another 10 right here.
I have so much school pride, Northern Elephant Seals is my middle name. And I mean that literally, as my name has been legally changed to Caitlin Northern Elephant Seals Parker.
gentlemen, my ringtone.
Russian elephant seal!
Alas, my opponents played called the Russian elephant seal. The northern elephant seal, in fact, sounds like
Northern elephant seal!
My opponent had true school pride, true to do the traditional crane neck and slam rapping motions, like so.
although I can admit my opponent's valiant effort at compression, it will pale in comparison to the real thing. Stand, bring on the seal. What? Well, folks, while the live northern elephant seal I captured from the wild this morning is now unable to join us, he will always be with me here. If you recall where I keep this handkerchief. Seal fry!
Let the record show that my opponent murdered a seal.
And with that, we've reached the end of today's debate. It is now time for closing statements. Caitlin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sophia. My northern elephant seal. When you think of what qualities do you want in a president? Do you want a me-first megalomaniac whose entire get out the vote campaign not only around cupcake fries, but triple chocolate cupcake fries? Or do you want that guy who drinks from the water fountain that weird way where he sticks his entire mouth on the nozzle? Or do you want a leader who leads using leadership? The choice is in your hands, your tiny, underdeveloped hands.
Eddie, your closing statement?
I'll put a snow cone machine in every classroom.
And with that, we've reached the end of today's debate. On behalf of the entire student body, I would like to thank both candidates for a highly informative conversation. That being said, since all previous elections were based off of who could fit the most jumbo marshmallows in their mouth, congratulations to our presumptive new president, Eddie Grant Wood.